Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Congratulations on a new phase in your life. And Stacy, it's a completely new phase, sending kids off to college and having that new chapter for sure. Yeah. And you spoke so powerfully to you created it. The way that it's occurring, you created it. So I want to address that what you started, Anthony, with about being on time. Some of you may know I'm a trainer and I'm a trainer in transformation, and I'm a trainer in specifically in level one. Level one means the basics, the foundations, where we start. And there is a big conversation of being on time and what it means when we're not. And I was listening to something. So I was actually in this training over this weekend. We just graduated a new cohort last night. So I'm very fresh in the context of it. And right before the weekend, I was listening to something. And because of what you just spoke to, Anthony, I feel like I can speak to it this way. Somebody who is a thought leader from a very metaphysical perspective spoke to very poignantly how the beings that we are, the only thing we actually have is our word. And the way he spoke to it is that the reality we are creating is based on the word that we give and believe in. The word that we use. And I mean, it's like an ongoing conversation that I am in with people in my spaces, because I'm naturally very punctual. I was raised like that, so I was lucky. But there are other places where I don't keep my word to myself. So I'm constantly in a conversation of where else do I get to keep a word to myself? Because if I can't keep a word to myself, anything I say will be, there is less of a possibility that it will be. So I declare that I will create something Friday. And I immediately, there is a doubt underneath it because I know I don't keep my word. And I have evidence for it. I'll say I'll get up at 8, but I get up at 8:15. Or I'll say that I'm going to walk my dog for 3 miles today. And I say to my dog who's sitting right there, today we're going to take a walk for 3 miles. Just give me 1 hour. I'm going to wrap up this call and I'm going to walk 3 miles. And then guess what happens? After I wrap up the call, a call comes in. Before you know it, it's 30 minutes later and my dog is going there like, I don't even know the time, but I know something's going on. Anybody with a dog? And it's a funny example, but my dog knows when I don't keep a word. It's energetic. How do I know? Because it's coming from me. And he literally will start as soon as I say goodbye on any phone call and I say we're going to go take a walk after the call, he waits. So this is just an example, but it works energetically. So Anthony said we are all, what we create is holistic, my word, but he speaks to it. We are a unit, we are holistic. Everything that happens in our life is an outpicturing of what I believe on the inside. So if there is a part of me that doesn't keep a word to myself somewhere, I will immediately create a reflection of that in my reality. So I say I'm going to make 5,000 by Friday, and as soon as I say it, it's laced with doubt because I don't keep my word somewhere else right now. Is this landing? So almost all of you, and this is, I don't want you to feel, this is not like make feel bad conversation. I really want to imbue you with this power of you keeping your word to yourself, even to be to this call. Be early. So when it's time, like 11 o'clock my time, you are here. What would change in your life if you kept just this one word to yourself? You didn't slide in 2 minutes after. And I know we all have good reasons. It's life. It's we all have good reasons. But I wonder what would change in your life if you took your cell phone and said, you know what? I'm just going to give it a try. So the visual that I give in a training, and some of you might have seen it if you've been to the training, although I don't think I do it. You are a bucket. This is you. This is your bucket. You are a whole bucket. Integrity. You know, when we say something is in integrity, Robert, I don't know if you use it because aren't you in like a construction related field? Yeah, right. So when something is in integrity, it's whole and complete. Unit there are no breaks in it. We can plug it in, install it, it works. Is that accurate? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Out of integrity means if I install this bucket somewhere, it has a hole, is out of integrity, I can't use it. It's out of integrity. There is a hole in it. Does that track? Are you with me? Okay. Out of integrity, what happens is you are 3 years old and somebody says, I'm going to bring you a toy for your birthday. And then they don't because they forgot. And you say, wow, it's okay to not keep a word to me. You know what? I'm going to come and be with you next weekend. Like any children of divorced parents. Like when a parent says, I'm going to be there. And then they don't show up. Oh, I'll come to your next game for sure. And then they don't. And there, it creates a hole for you inside your bucket. You're a teenager and your best friend, you were gonna be best friends forever. 2 weeks later, they have a new friend. And that creates a hole in your bucket. Broken promises, broken words. But that's how we learn. That's how we get these holes. We're no longer in integrity. And we use these holes to not keep a word to ourselves. Well, I'm already, and this is not a conscious conversation, this is unconscious. I already have these holes. I'm already not in integrity. It's okay to break a word to me. So I'm just gonna break a word to myself too. We didn't do anything wrong. Life just happened. People broke promises and people do all the time. Loving, good meaning people do it all the time. I sit in these trainings and I facilitate them, and we all have stories from childhood where somebody broke a word and we decided it's okay to break a word. And then we break a word to ourselves. And then one day we start a business and we're like, well, why isn't this working? Or why is this only working to a certain degree? Why do I hit this place and I can't move forward? Well, it's because we have these holes and we leak energy. We're not in integrity. But then what happens is, like, you can go and have a experience like we do, catharsis, when we let it go and we heal something. And then we can start plugging these holes in. I heal a hole when somebody didn't bring me a toy. I love myself, I'm worthy. Okay, no more hole. I get a new friend. I remember why. A new story. Okay, that friend, when I was 12 years old, said we're gonna be friends forever, and then they found a new best friend. You know what? I don't know why it happened, but I made up a story that I wasn't worthy. But today I'm gonna say I'm worthy. And I heal that hole and I plug that hole. I regain my integrity. Regain my integrity. But then while I regain my integrity, I'm late to a meeting by 2 minutes. I just made a new hole. So I plugged these two, but I made a new one. So as insignificant as it may be, the minute or 2 minutes, you are preventing new holes from happening. So when you say to whatever you believe in, universe, God, source, energy, whatever you create with, because we create with something, there's something in the universe, in the world, that energy that creates with us. When I say I'm going to make $5,000 by Friday 5 p.m. and I say I'm going to do it, and then I go through my days and I am aware, where can I keep my word today so I am the person whose word matters something. I go through the day and I catch myself. Where can I keep my word today? Where can I stop myself from breaking the word right before I break it? And if I break my word, how can I clean it up so I regain my integrity? Because when you clean up, so right now I want you to do it yourself. If you were here a minute late or 2 minutes late, I want you to do it with yourself. Just right now say, okay, I was a minute late. What got in the way is I wasn't paying attention to time. You with you. You don't even have to do it out loud. You with you. Hand on your heart. I was late because I don't pay attention to time, and I do this all the time, and that's because I don't believe I'm worthy. And right now I'm going to heal this hole right now, regain my integrity, and I'm going to give myself a word that I will not be late to this call ever again. I'm going to make it matter. And anything that's on my schedule today, I will be on time, which means I will be at least 2 minutes early. Like, make that like commitment to yourself for today alone. So right now, if you do what I just told you, you plug that hole that you just made by being late, and you're keeping it plugged in, which means your word means something today. A lot more than it did this morning. Is this landing? Somebody else. Don't do it for music. Don't do it for Anthony. Do it for you. Like begin to play that way in those small places. You know, like all of you are doing great things in life right now, and your up level will come from these small places. This 1 minute could make such a huge difference in how you show up today. Ask you a question. How does it feel for you to then have to go send out apology letters, communicate every meeting? How does it feel for you to do that? How does it feel? Connect to it. Let's run into this problem before. Phone call before and late, and now you're late. This is what I'm hearing. You set them up because you said you have another phone call at the top of the hour. Like, did you say that at the beginning of the phone call? Set people up for success. Because is it fair to the next person that you are late to that phone call, and then the person after that, and then the person after that? Is it like, yeah, I mean, so I don't want to cut this person off, but I'm being unfair to the other people. Ultimately, I'm unfair to myself too, and then it drags my day and it impacts my energy. When it happens to me, it impacts my flow, my high frequency, whatever you play with. It undermines how I show up that day. What can I do? Now, there is something deeper underneath it, and I hear it, like you don't want to cut people off. Set them up for success. I have a hard cutoff at this time, and I give them warning. I have 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we cover everything we need to. Training rooms. In transformation, people get into the story and they feel like they have to tell the whole thing, and we feel like we have to listen. But it's not always true. People feel like they're not heard if they don't tell every detail. But that's our conversation about it. So how do I set this up for success for this person and everybody else in my schedule? What would I get to shift in my perspective of having them being heard and me listening to them, and also honor all my other commitments? And ahead of time, yeah. But then what's the conversation you would get to change for yourself about it? Yeah, and I'll tell you, 5 minutes is not a long time. There is something in you that has you feel like you have to give more in that moment. Like, this is just the intuitive hit. You feel like you have to overgive, even if it's just 5 minutes. Like, if you cut it off at the time and gave, I just got chills, definitely onto something. So let's look. Like, you have to overgive in that moment. And they're spending so much money. I mean, you even shared it. Anybody heard it? Like, they're spending so much money. It's this big event. Like, it's so big that you have to give them extra 5 minutes. Trusting, because you definitely created something, and it's coming from, usually where it comes from is lack of self-worth. So I feel like if people are paying a lot, I have to give them so much. You know, it's how powerful that you care so much, because that's what I'm hearing. You care so much. Special occasion, somebody is making an investment, it matters. Yeah, and that care doesn't have to be quantified, and I have to be available at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm always stressed out that that I didn't answer a message, and now they don't like me, or they don't like the product, or they're gonna find something wrong with it. So how much more can you believe in the value of what you create, so you don't have to overgive, and start tightening the places where you are overcompensating to not get the bad review? Because I promise you, from that place you will get a bad review no matter what you do. And you don't have to answer it. It's more for you to work on. How can you give as much as you give without having to work at 12 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, or give the extra 5 minutes? Because literally that extra 5 minutes is an indication of something. Nothing changes for this person in their experience. What changes is however you from now on look at it. That's why you're here, right? That's why you're here, because because you can't grow your business from the place where you overgive. There is only so much. The next phone call, they don't have to wait 5 minutes, because they're going to give you a bad review if you keep postponing by 5 minutes. So yeah, become responsible. And the way that like most of you did, do you speak to responsibility? You do, right? Even without the two. Okay, so I'm responsible for creating everything in my life. Even the person who cut me off, so now I'm 5 minutes late. I am responsible for it. I created it from the perspective of my limiting belief. My limiting belief says I'm not worthy of being on time. I'm not worthy of having customers love me. I'm not worthy of not having bad reviews. I'm not, whatever the conversation is, including me. I'm not late to my own lunch. because I'm
Right.
worthy as well. I don't cut 5 minutes out of my lunch at the beginning or the end because I was running late. Value for the person on a call with me without having to give 5 minutes. Feel something about it. You will feel like you didn't do your job. It's not true. It's your programming. In that moment, reach out for coaching. It do happen. It's not like I'm never late to anything. I had to have this experience. And sometimes I had to have the experience to feel the pain of what I do to other people when they're late. And I mean, it's a whole other conversation. Be in dragging my day 5 days over, and it starts with creating maximum value in the time that I scheduled, and not having, and then getting underneath the conversation and shifting the conversation of having to
Right.
overgive, because that's on you, not on them. My experience, when we begin to operate that way, the world begins to treat you differently. People no longer stretch your clock. People honor and respect your time. I have people tell me all the time, I really want to respect your time. How much time do I have with you? All the time, people will get on the phone with me, and unless there was an agreed upon time, they will get and say, I really want to respect your time. How much time do I have with you? We have 20 minutes. We can get a lot done. Thank you very much for your time. That's a lot of time. I really appreciate it. I'm like, sure, 20 minutes. But I
Yeah.
created that extra 5 minutes too. They have their own feeling bad about it that they're not even
Right.
connecting to, because now they took away from your schedule, and they have their own unconscious level of feeling bad about it. And share, what did you experience, what worked, what didn't work, what shifted, what do you get to be coached on. Take this one place. This will make a huge difference for you in your business. That shadow gets, based on what we know now, it gets created in a moment when we were in a moment of distress, and it served for a very long time. It's a shadow because we covered it, and it's not a negative part. So to your point, it's not something to hate, or we just, I'm not good enough. Who wants to acknowledge I'm not good enough? Like, whoever wants to do that? Who wants to walk around saying, yeah, I have a part of me that doesn't feel like I'm good enough, a part of me who self-sabotages? Like, no, of course we don't. We're rational, loving human beings. We are accomplished, we're successful. The last thing I want to acknowledge is there's a part of me that doesn't feel good enough. So acknowledge it and say, no, actually, I created that part of me to survive a moment in life. Something happened, and I decided that if I don't address this and I show up this way, love your contrast. Yeah. When I don't address this and I try to cover like it's not there, nobody has to see it, I'm going to survive. And then at some point we come to elevation in our life. You find yourself in training rooms, in coaching, and you're like, but I'm trying to grow my business. I want to have a better relationship. Constantly get in my way. Well, it's part of me that gets in my way. This is the responsibility conversation. Nothing outside of me gets in the way. Imagine, with everything that's going on in the world right now, and it's going to continue to break down because it's where we are as humanity. We are ending cycles that are hundreds of thousands of years old. There'll be breakdowns all over the place, and we are the ones standing in it, creating something new. So imagine saying nothing outside of me, not the changes in financial system, not the changes in politics, none of it affects what my business does. People will always buy jewelry because they will always have. So I will always find people who look for jewelry. I will always look for people who look for childcare, and I will deliver the best possible service no matter what's going on. And then I will look for places where I'll self-sabotage, but I will not allow something outside of me to get in the way of what I'm creating, because I know the only thing that's in the way is the shadow, the contrast, the part of me that I try to avoid. And I will stand in it and I will feel yucky about it. Because at first it doesn't feel good. What do you mean? There is a part of me that gets in the way of my success? That's crazy. But of course there is. Because something happened and it had you believe that it's not okay for you to have what you want, or it's not okay for you to show up, or it's not okay for you to be successful. Somebody will, Alexandra, somebody will write you a bad review. And I want it to happen tomorrow because I want you to feel it. I want you to work through it. And I want you to never create your business from a place of, I don't want them to write me a bad review. Anthony's like, Anna, what are you doing? But you're aligned with me, right? Like, have a bad review, process the feelings underneath it, Get the coaching. So you never created from a fear of getting a bad review. You created from vision of successful business, happy clients, beautiful jewelry. And you never have to not want to feel that. I know. The only way we can do the work is if we allow ourselves to see it and be seen with it and do something about it. Yeah. And yeah, there is a pretty good chance that you are isolating because you don't want people around you will have an opinion about you making more money, or you think they'll have an opinion. So now you're isolating because then you don't have to share. So that's why you hear and you come and you share and you speak up and you say, hey, you guys, I just had the best week of my life in my business. I just made X number of money and I've never made this much money, and everybody celebrates you. And you're like, wow, it's okay? Yes, it is. That's amazing. Yep. And it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, what's the win in the way you see yourself? What's possible now? What's the win about that? Where will it support you in your life, in other areas of your life? Where will that support you? Not as exciting as doing something because what's the purpose? Like, what's the vision? Okay, I want to do things that I love to do. Okay, I'm going to suffer for a moment the pain of feeling like people are not liking me because I'm choosing something different. Because in a moment it's painful. In a moment it feels like, of course I don't want to feel that. I feel like I should be doing this with them. In that moment, if I can be in my vision and say, I'm experiencing discomfort to cause a breakthrough, to redesign myself, to take something new on. Why? So I can have new results, a new experience in alignment with my vision. Like what? Art project, canning, whatever it is, that brings me joy, that makes me feel fulfilled. Okay, I will feel the pain and suffering in this moment. Forgive yourself for all the ways you were wrong. You opened up to receive all the ways you're making a difference in the world. So when you stepped in your power and you forgave yourself all the places where you beat yourself up, and there are more, I promise you, I find new ones all the time, just so you know. Oh, you let it go, you forgave yourself. Now you were open for people to acknowledge and recognize you. Because until then, until that moment, until Anthony gave you the exercise and you did the exercise, you were so wrong that there was no space for somebody to be even able to give you recognition. You were closed off to it energetically. So when you let it go and you forgave yourself, and all you had to do is forgive yourself, somebody could now see you, because they always saw you, they just couldn't, because energetically you were like, no, it's not okay, I'm wrong. Today, you're going to look at all the places where you are out of integrity, the small, tiny places, like when you beat yourself up for being wrong, and you are going to, in that moment, there are many ways to do it. You can write a letter. If you don't have time to write a letter, put your hand on your heart, I forgive myself. Just so you can let it go in that moment. Restore your integrity. If you're about to be late for something, see what's in the way so you can be on time. What can you create so you can be in integrity today? Just today. Okay? One day. Today. Until the end of today. Make a declaration. Like if you make weekly declarations, Anthony, do we make weekly declarations? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So make a weekly declaration and then walk today restoring your word, being in integrity, and then see what happens. Do it just for today. If you see a difference, if you feel a difference, do it tomorrow too. And then see what happens with your declaration by Friday. So today we are restoring integrity, because Penny, that was restoring integrity. You had a leak in your bucket because you had a conversation that there is something wrong and you're doing something wrong. You healed it when you wrote the letter. You let it go, you healed it. Guess what? Now there is more integrity. Now you are showing up whole and complete, that much more. Now people can show up for you. So today, restore your integrity. Don't go backwards anyway or like just today. The actions you're taking today, okay? Make your declaration from somebody who's whole and complete, and then see today where you can restore your integrity, be on time, make new agreements, whatever it is, okay? And then Wednesday, my friend Wendy, is it Wednesday? My friend Wendy has storm to, what is it called? When you are in integrity, when you keep your word, you don't have to, you are that much farther ahead. When a storm hits, you are not wobbly. You are not wobbly. because you know you are in integrity. You know how to keep your word. So work on that so then Wendy can take you farther on Wednesday. Okay? Yes? This is a great conversation today, team.